I really don't care. I'll do it and I'll do it again over and over and over.
And I want to make it quite clear that I didn't judge him. You know, I know God is the only judge we have. I've just set the appointment up.
And then I just put him on his bed and covered him up and climbed in my bed and went to sleep.
In the shadows of confinement, regret is something that they can't afford. Patrick Schroeder admitted to choking Terry Berry in their shared cell at Tecumseh State Prison in southeast Nebraska. He was already serving a life sentence for the murder of a Pawnee City farmer in 2006. According to Schroeder, he became tired of his cellmate. The cramped space of their 12 by 10 cell made his OCD tendencies worse, making it hard to live with another person. In segregation, where they were locked up for 23 hours a day, he found himself paired with someone without prior consultation. While he was facing a life sentence, his cellmate was serving time for a lesser offense. Their incompatible living situation ended when Schroeder chose to harm his cellmate. What's even more chilling is that Schroeder claimed he felt no remorse or emotion after taking the lives of two people. He claimed that the mental health staff didn't provide an answer when he asked them about his lack of feelings or remorse over the killings. It troubled him that he didn't feel anything. He confided in his lawyer, Sarah, several times about why he didn't oppose the death penalty. He feared that if given another life sentence, he might kill again. He felt no emotion about it, seeing it as something he could easily do. 3 judges from Nebraska decided that Schroeder would be given a lethal injection as punishment. Moreover, Schroeder continued his legal case without the lawyers the state gave him. His lawyers tried to argue that Nebraska's way of providing the death penalty was against the law, but Schroeder stopped them and said he didn't want a lawyer anymore. It's quite unusual for someone to agree to the death penalty before they've even been officially sentenced.
May he rot in the gates of hell.
Some people consider Stephen Sanderson's act of killing his prison cellmate a child to be brave. However, Sanderson himself wanted to make it clear that he didn't see himself as a hero.
People think I'm some kind of hero, well, I'm actually not.
And indeed, he wasn't one. Sanderson admitted to killing Dyer, who was 67 years old at the time. Dyer, from Grand Haven, was in prison for first-degree criminal against a young person. Sanderson was already serving a life sentence for killing his girlfriend in 1991 in Wayne County. The day after Dyer's conviction, Sanderson told the police that he had a conversation with Dyer about his crime. When Dyer continued to deny or make excuses, Sanderson began to harm him.
I just got mad and then hit him and then I killed him.
After knocking Dyer out, Sanderson used Dyer's shoelaces to choke him.
And then I just put him on his bed and covered him up and climbed in my bed and went to sleep.
When Sanderson admitted to killing the prisoner, he stated that he didn't feel sorry for what he did, and that while he might have felt bad for Dyer's family, he didn't feel sorry for Dyer himself. Some of Dyer's family members were present in court, but chose not to speak. They also opted not to communicate with the Saginaw News after the sentencing. Sanderson repeatedly warned the Michigan Department of Corrections staff not to place him in a cell with a child, stating that he would kill him. This suggests that Sanderson was aware of his instincts and potential future actions. Now, who is to blame in this situation? After Dyer's death, the staff at the Michigan Department of Corrections transferred Sanderson to a more secure location. He was then housed at the Iona Correctional Facility, where security measures were stringent. Judge Borchard handed down the harshest punishment available: life in prison with the possibility of parole. Every year, Kern County witnesses numerous murders, but one particular incident in 2011 at a Bakersfield motel stood out for its shocking brutality. Yvette Pena was killed in a horrifically violent manner, and Jaime Osuna, who confessed to the crime, drew attention due to his extensive tattoos and apparent lack of remorse. Jaime Osuna, who was 34, had tattoos, including a smile like the Joker from movies and a star inside a circle on his forehead. It was hard to find any part of his face without a tattoo. On November 13, 2011, police were called to the El Morocco Motel in Bakersfield after someone discovered a deceased individual in one of the rooms. The victim was identified as Pena, a mother of 6, who was experiencing difficult circumstances and had been staying at the motel. She had sustained numerous severe injuries. Officials who examined the body concluded that Pena died due to extensive trauma from being struck with sharp objects, which hindered her ability to breathe properly.
It's more of trying to get a rush. It's a rush.
In interviews with a reporter, Osuna openly discussed feeling excitement when he killed Pena. He confessed to and murdering her. Surprising? Yes, he did make these statements.
I did sadistically, premeditatedly, deliberately, and murdered Yvette Pena.
He received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Osuna derived excitement from taking people's lives. He admitted to committing another murder after Pena's death. Over the years, Osuna acquired more tattoos, drastically altering his appearance from when he was first seen in court. Each new tattoo transformed his appearance, sometimes subtly, sometimes significantly. But the story doesn't end there. In 2019, Osuna was accused of killing his cellmate at Corcoran State Prison. His cellmate was tragically found decapitated. Following his prior sentencing, Osuna was returned to Corcoran State Prison. There, he was assigned a new cellmate named Luis Romero. One morning in March 2019, guards made a gruesome discovery during a routine cell check. The Kings County prosecutor, who initially handled the case, described it as the most gruesome slaying he had ever witnessed. Osuna spent some time in a state hospital where he received treatment for his mental health issues. Following his treatment, it was determined that he was fit to stand trial. It's undeniably one of the most horrific murders, isn't it? Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel for further updates. As the courtroom settled into silence after Jaime Osuna's case, another sentencing unfolded within the walls of the Alger Correctional Facility. Deshaun Madden, who was 23 years old, was sentenced to a minimum of 60 years and a maximum of 90 years after being found guilty of second-degree murder. Officials found a man named Rodriguez Montez Burks dead in his cell at the Alger Correctional Facility. He was wrapped in blankets. Burks was in prison for running away from the police in Livingston County in April 2016. A warrant was issued for his cellmate, Deshaun Madden. Inmates at the prison claimed that Madden killed Burks because they were having problems. Inmates alleged that Madden had informed 2 prison workers that he would harm Burks if he was not provided with a new cell.
I need to move today before we get into it.
However, officials disputed this account, stating that such threats were not tolerated within the prison system. The lawsuit contended that the individuals being sued failed to ensure Burks' safety. They neglected to transfer either prisoner out of the cell, failed to conduct regular checks on Burks despite the threats made against him, and provided no assistance to him following the attack.